It is February 1904, and if you were to pick up a copy of the Strand Magazine this month, you would be holding a fascinating cross-section of the Edwardian world. It is a collection that doesn't quite know what it wants to be, which is exactly why it works. Within these pages, you'll find everything from the cold, razor-sharp logic of Sherlock Holmes to harrowing tales of maritime mutiny, reports from the remote reaches of Tibet, and even a bit of nursery room magic. It is a volume that moves between the highly structured, orderly world of the British upper class and the unpredictable, often violent impulses of human nature. We begin with a mystery that feels quintessential to the era. Sherlock Holmes is called to Mackleton to investigate a breach in the perfect order of Priory School. The head of the school, Dr. Thornycroft Huxtable, is in a state of distress because 10-year-old Lord Saltire, the heir to the Duke of Holderness, has vanished. The disappearance is baffling because the boy was in a locked second-story room. There was no sign of a struggle, no broken windows, and no way out. The only clue is a sudden, suspicious flight. A German master at the school named Heidegger has vanished at the same time. Holmes enters this world of prestige and rigid discipline to find that even in the most controlled environments, a person can simply slip through the cracks. From the intellectual puzzles of a schoolroom, we move into something much more visceral and heavy. We meet Gilbert Lorimer, a reserved officer on a Scotch tramp, a man who carries the quiet weight of a lost fortune. His story takes us aboard the steamer Oceanus, which is on a high-stakes mission to transport gold ingots to Ascension Isle. The gold is a decoy meant to lead British cruisers away from a more important shipment, but the presence of the treasure has a transformative effect on the crew. As the voyage progresses, a sense of gold fever begins to infect the men. What starts as tension under the command of the boastful and somewhat paranoid Captain Joey Castle eventually boils over into a full-scale mutiny. Lorimer finds himself caught in the middle of the chaos, eventually ending up in a small, drifting launch with 4 mutineers. As the fuel runs out and a storm begins to brew, the situation turns from a criminal act into a struggle for survival. The men descend into what is described as an honest madness, a state where the instinct to survive is in direct conflict with the obsession with the gold they have stolen. In the cramped, tossing boat, the weight of the treasure becomes a literal death sentence. Lorimer is forced to kill an attacker in self-defense, and in a final, desperate attempt to keep the boat from sinking under the weight of their greed, he convinces the survivors to cast the heavy gold ingots overboard. They are eventually rescued by a British cruiser, but they return with nothing but their lives, watching as their fortune sinks to the bottom of the ocean. This theme of a physical object driving men to madness is echoed in another narrative involving a man named Mr. Chalk. Chalk is a man haunted by a stormy and checkered past, a history that creates a constant, low-level friction in his marriage. His preoccupation with a mysterious island map held by a retired sea captain named Bowers begins to pull his social circle into his orbit. When it is revealed that the map leads to a treasure worth £500,000, the atmosphere shifts from social curiosity to opportunistic greed. Chalk's friends, Treadgold and Stowbell, see nothing but a business opportunity. They pressure the retired Captain Bowers to fund an expedition, setting up a classic conflict between an old-fashioned sense of honour and the relentless modern drive for profit. Between these heavy dramas, the magazine offers a series of vignettes that capture the spirit of the age, the era's fascination with progress, morality, and the strange corners of the world. There is the intense, disciplined preparation of a circus performer named Mr. Eclair, who is training for a high-speed, looping the loop act, a testament to the human ability to master gravity through sheer physical will. There is the report of a massive anti-gambling crusade in Philadelphia, where over 1,000 gambling machines were burned in public, a moment of urban moral cleansing. We see the engineering triumph of the dry-run sewer in Iowa, a structure so massive that people held a banquet inside its tunnels. And we are taken to Tibet by the explorer Tsibikov, who describes a society where women hold significant influence and where the religious authority of the Dalai Lama permeates every aspect of daily life. Finally, the collection takes a sharp turn into the fantastical. In a nursery, a magical wishing carpet has caused absolute mayhem by summoning a menagerie of Persian cats and muskrats. When a policeman arrives to investigate the noise, a phoenix uses its ability to mimic human voices to trick him into chasing a phantom murder. The children in the room try to use their remaining wishes to fix the mess, but magic in this world is unpredictable and lacks the orderly logic of a Holmes mystery. A wish for milk to feed the cats instead summons a live Jersey cow into the room, which proceeds to trample the children, leaving the nursery in a state of exhausted, fearful chaos. When you look at these stories together, a few striking patterns emerge. There is a recurring obsession with the weight of things, whether it is the literal weight of gold ingots sinking to the ocean floor or the metaphorical weight of a secret past or a treasure map. The narrative suggests that what we possess often ends up possessing us. The gold in the maritime story and the treasure in the story of Captain Bowers both act as catalysts that strip away the veneer of civilization, revealing the raw, often violent impulses underneath. We also see a constant tension between order and chaos. We see it in the attempt to maintain perfect discipline in a boarding school, the breakdown of command on a ship, the struggle to maintain social decorum in a marriage, and the total collapse of domestic order in the nursery. The Edwardian world, as presented here, seems to be a place where people are working very hard to build systems, laws, social classes, engineering marvels, circus acts, to keep chaos at bay, yet chaos is always just one storm or one magical wish away. There is also a sense of the illusion of control. We see the circus performer trying to master the laws of physics, the engineers building massive sewers to control the flow of waste, and the children trying to use magic to control their environment. But in the end, whether it is nature, greed, or a magical cow, the unpredictable forces often win. This volume of The Strand is more than just a collection of stories. It is a reflection of a world standing on the edge of something new. It celebrates the triumphs of engineering and exploration, but it remains deeply suspicious of the human heart. It suggests that no matter how much we advance through technology or social reform, we are still subject to the same ancient heavy impulses of greed and madness that have always governed us. It is a snapshot of a moment in time when the world felt both incredibly controlled and wildly unpredictable all at once.